Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Silver Tears Tarot. And of course, welcome to my new people that are coming in. Today, we're going to take a look at a question that came in from a viewer. And I think it sums up what a lot of you have been also sending to me. And it's just, I'm feeling exhausted. This person writes that they're feeling completely exhausted because this has just been going on for a long time, and they put in what they feel like is an appropriate amount of energy given the situation, but they're feeling like they're getting little or nothing back from this person, and just trying to figure out how to manage the exhaustion while being kind of in a place where they can't get away from or walk away from the bond. So that's what we're going to look into today. Get a little bit more information about kind of what's happening with that and some advice about what to do about it. So this is going to be a general reading. As always, it'll be a general reading for this collective, so it's not going to resonate with everybody, shouldn't resonate with everybody. If it does resonate with you, please feel free to join the collective, subscribe to the channel. You may want to take a look at some of the other messages that have come out, because these readings are all very connected to one another. So we're going to start out by looking at kind of what energy is happening between you and around you. So it's that energetic backdrop, energetic and emotional backdrop that's happening, but also with the focus on what's happening between the two of you. So we've got the Hierophant in reverse. Something feels like it sticks out and that they have a hard time reconciling. This is not an emotional reconciliation even. This is a spiritual reconciliation. They're trying to work something out spiritually and not feeling right about it. Trying to to control what they think. They're trying to control their own opinions about this, and I think the idea is to make it easier for them to sleep. We also have the Knight of Hedgehogs coming in reverse. Knight of Hedgehogs, that's earth energy, and so this is kind of that stopping and starting, very inconsistent energy that honestly draws attention to itself in ways that it wishes that it hadn't. This is not great when they're trying to control the flow of the energy the way that they're trying to control it. Doesn't seem like they're having much luck with it, though. It seems like it's sticking out. There's something about this that kind of sticks out. Like, it's a situation where if there's a third-party situation, because there's the implied third-party situation, it just keeps showing up in these readings. And you can just feel it standing there like the elephant in the room. But there is some sort of shift here that has caused, like, if it's a work situation, this is the easiest way to describe it, I think, or the quickest thing that came to me. If it's a work situation, it's like they were in the in crowd and all of a sudden they feel themselves shifting to the out crowd. It's that kind of feeling. And so trying to kind of struggle, kind of trying to make some sort of shift, like control some sort of shift. And then with the Knight of Hedgehogs, unfortunately, it's not going very well. It's like thrashing around, a shark. It's thrashing and struggling is not helping the case, not helping the cause. That's kind of the backdrop. So it's an awkward, difficult backdrop. This feels like it is, I mean, it's always shared energy because you guys are always sharing your energy, but this feels like your person. So you've got the Eight of Swords here. Yeah, they've got a lot that they're kind of working through and thinking of. We'll just start here. So yeah, the Eight of Swords is as far as we go down in this stack. Page of Wands in reverse. It's taking a toll on them. So there's an emotional toll on them as well. There is, if I didn't know better, and I can see the pattern in the cards. This person is as tired and worn out about this as you are, but like you, they haven't found a lot of opportunities to really have, it's hard to find somebody to talk to about something like this. This is why some of you use me as your kind of your I invite you to send in questions. I invite you to send in stories, and some of you write in and say, I'm just kind of using you as my journal or my diary because I don't have a chance to talk with anybody, and so I read it. I read all of it, and that's how I have some idea of where the questions are supposed to come from. and what is happening with the collective as well. But I mean, those are individual situations. And so you can often see, oh my goodness, that does fit in. That does fit in overall in the big picture. But there's a lot of, I guess, a lot of exhaustion setting in for both of you. And it seems like it's just sort of bouncing back and forth, this feeling of exhaustion. This is an in and out energy, inconsistent energy, but it seems like it's a not a passionate in and out inconsistent energy because it's because of the exhaustion. So the good news is there is an opportunity. This is a 5 of Swords in reverse that reads a little like a 6 of Swords in the upright. This feels like it generates enough of a slowdown, just a brief slowdown, so that the two of you are able to get a better feel around something. Like there's a concept that needs to become clearer for you guys, for both of you, and you both have a little bit more of an opportunity, even though you're in this kind of half depressive energy. I feel like you're making good usage of it. So, and I definitely, that 10 of Coins there, I don't think it's supposed to be part of the reading. It'll come back out if it's supposed to be next, but that's a sense of making good decisions in your situation, your environment, in your near term. So despite the fact that you've got kind of this situation evolving over here, you seem to be making the best of it. They seem to be making the best of it. It all of a sudden starts to feel like very shared energy once we start to get more into this second row of cards that I set down here. Because at first it was like, ooh, this is really them. But I see both of you making the best of what appears to be kind of less than ideal situation. There is a change that is trying to happen, but it's like it's holding you in a place. I feel the Hanged Man in reverse right now. I see Temperance and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, but I also feel the Hanged Man. And so what it is like, here's a perspective not yet gained. Here's something that you are getting these glimmers of hope. Both of you are getting these glimmers of hope, these moments of clarity, these things that feel like you're moving in the right direction, but they don't happen often enough for you to be super sure. You're ready to get in and make decisions about it, and sometimes it feels like maybe that's too much of a rush when you're gently sort of floating toward where you're supposed to be, but it takes a lot of listening. It takes a lot of getting in and being able to hear that intuition, and sometimes that's hard to do in the day to day. And so the desire to kind of get in and make quick decisions and make short work of things, while it is super useful in some situations, seems to not be working very well in this one. And yet it seems like you're generally both moving toward where you're supposed to be. It's like that feeling of, but I'm in a terrible place. How could I still be on the right path? When there are definitely going to be parts of the path that don't feel great. And I feel like this is maybe one of those, and that exhaustion. I feel like there's exhaustion for both of you. Like it's exhaustion for both of you. It's a really it's a bleak feeling, but it's not as emotionally difficult as not by itself. Like there are other there are other issues that might be causing emotional distress, but that is really, I guess, just not making it better. With the Chariot in reverse, it kind of matches the energy of this Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and also further explains what we have here with the Page of Wands in reverse. This is a lack of motivation. It's a lack of a desire to move forward on some things. Again, with this feeling of something being unorthodox and not being accepted or celebrated in a way that you could see how I talked about being in the in crowd, going to the out crowd, and this is basically something that like looks like for all it was written as a song that was written like a hit, but for whatever reason people just didn't love it. It's that kind of energy, it's that kind of feeling, and there's a limited emotion to go along with it, but it's hiding something that is really kind of scary to your person. So this is the first glimmer of real emotion that I've been able to see here. And this is why they're hiding it and why you see all of this subterfuge over here. So basically they've got an attraction that has been rekindled, and they're doing everything they can to create limitations on this emotion while continuing to live a good life, while continuing to not have to make too many changes, while not having to make a bunch of changes to their living environment. They're making good decisions in their living environment. You're doing the same things. I think it comes out a little bit differently, especially because your person's living environment, we've been seeing in the past few readings, to a certain degree, is kind of coming down around their ears, but it's doing so in super slow mo. It's also doing so in a way that it involves threats and things below the surface, things beneath the surface that take a little bit of time to materialize. A little bit less explosive than what it looked like it might be when we were first starting to see it come out earlier on. Let's take a look at what's happening with kind of the what you need to know about the relationship, because right now seems to be a really challenging part for the relationship for the two of you. And we've been seeing that in a lot of the readings. This is not unique to this situation just today. We didn't just wake up to find this. It's been kind of becoming challenging. We see a lot of emotion come out, and then all of a sudden we see it retract, and we see them not be able to do emotion. And now here we see them being, again, the opposite of disappointed, but a little surprised by how invested they are in this. And that's where all of a sudden you see that strong need for limitation of the emotion. So you see them sort of gravitating away from it and pretending like they don't have the connection. Let's see. So that's kind of what the energy is that's between you and around you. There's energy that is around both of you that is kind of encouraging this chain of events, that's encouraging that energy to be the way that it is. So let's look a little bit more into the relationship itself and just what you need to know about where you are right now, because I think a lot's changed. So what do you need to know about things right now? Especially looking into how little they are giving to the situation. And sometimes you'll see them come out with a little bit of this more vulnerable energy, whether they reach out or not. And then you see them retracted again. And there's this sense of it being retracted again, but almost it's got emotion behind it. And I think we're getting a little bit of the edge of that with the, I'm surprised at how invested I got and how quickly. Okay, so we have the Chariot in reverse. Well, they're feeling this energy over here with the Page of Wands, the Chariot in reverse, the Temperance in reverse. Everything is kind of, and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse is kind of not moving forward. It's got the sense of not moving forward. But with the Six of Spears, it's giving them a moment to be able to, remember how I said this Five of Swords was like the Six of Swords in the upright? It kind of has that same feeling. So this is the Six of Swords in the upright. It's the Six of Spears, same air energy. They are all of a sudden not feeling that motivation and are being held in this space. Like with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it's that lesson that keeps coming back, that always comes back, that teaches us that we have to be able to make the best of things. We have to be able to find comfort in a situation that is inherently uncomfortable. Now, I see you doing it over here, but I see that this is kind of, again, the nature of the situation. Like this relationship right now is in a difficult place. It's in a difficult place, and it's a really interesting thing, because it's like the two of you, and a lot of you have these soul contracts, and I know it's not going to be everybody, but a lot of you have these soul contracts, and it feels like they came in, you had the soul recognition, it's a beautiful thing, and all of a sudden they're like, all right, remember what we got to do, here we go, and then off they go. Okay, who's these? And you're off learning your lessons, but at first you got that realization, wait a minute, this is my person, this is that, hey, this is fantastic, and then all of a sudden it starts to be terrible because you've moved on to the lessons portion of things, and neither of you is exactly conscious of the interaction that took place there. All you felt was the soul recognition. So it can be very frustrating. It can also be incredibly surprising. We're seeing this Four of Teacups. We also see the Three of Teacups. Here's where you see that interference from the third party again. But like I said, it's ever present. It's ever present. There's a tendency for this energy that comes from the third party, which, as I've mentioned before, feels a little bit like a force field around them. And when your person gets in within that force field, all of a sudden they start to perceive things a little bit differently. That's part of the inconsistency that you're seeing. Just depends on the influence of the energies that are around them. So the more they're around the third party, the more you're going to see certain types of behaviors. But it's really hard to reconcile this. This is that Four of Cups energy that has them limiting their emotion. Four of Teacups, same thing. This is more recent now because they managed to like with the King of Cups, they had the ability to dabble a little bit into their emotional side. And so with that, as they started to feel that sense of too much, too fast, too surprising, they were able to say, okay, we're going to use that same dabbling energy as what I used to limit myself. It's that King of Cups energy. It's a lot of charisma there, but it's also it's got that ability to limit the emotion that comes through. And so there's definitely that feeling of the third party interfering with the overall emotion of the situation, but it still rings through how amazing it is. And now they're kind of stuck here having to realize it, think about it, be aware of it. Hmm. Interesting, interesting. Okay, so we've got the Three of Coins coming back up again. Came up kind of as an honorable mention earlier. I don't think I said it, but I saw it and I read it. The Three of Coins talks about kind of keeping things humming, keeping things going well. This is part of the ego that we've been looking at, part of the ego thing that we've been looking at, where there's a lot of need to keep things going forward and keep things looking a certain way from an egoistic standpoint. This Three of Coins feels very materialistic in that way, and so it doesn't mean that there aren't also great things going on. It just means that what's driving it is a little bit more on the material, egoistic side. There's a definite sense of imbalance from a sense of ability to nurture oneself. So, a need for some of that inner child healing. Your person has been coming up needing that in the past. And so, this isn't necessarily hard to believe, but it's going to help them work past some of these more difficult situations that have caused you trouble in the past. So, here's where I see it causing you trouble. This is where you're giving and they are giving you so little. You're getting so little from them. You're getting nothing from them. Depends on which one of you is writing me on which day. But that phrase that I'm getting nothing or I'm getting so little from them comes up a lot. And it's this right here where you're putting in far more than what you're getting back. And then this is their energy feeling like they are completely depleted and unable to deliver. And they know they're not delivering, which makes it worse. And so that's part of what makes them hide. It's it's a difficult cycle, honestly, because it's difficult for them to ever feel like they have enough to give because they constantly feel depleted because they don't know how to take it in. They don't know how to take the love in and they don't know how to give it. It's one of those mantras that comes up in my daily meditations about giving and receiving love in equal measure. But here's somebody who's not feeling real steady about much of anything. We've got that Knight of Hedgehogs energy that we saw over here. It's the stop, start, stop, start. Here's that same energy again. Knight of Coins, again in the reverse. They're being shown what they need to move forward, but they're unable to make good use of it at this point. Just kind of feeling like they're way off their game and they're having a hard time connecting with the energy of you, and yet they're incredibly connected to the energy of you. Here we have the Nine of Coins where they're feeling like they have that lack of a connection. We have the Devil card where they're talking about, or where they're feeling that not so much whether it's connection or not, it's more about what's got them wrapped up in something that they cannot easily get out of, and yet they're over here making decent decisions around their immediate environment. There's something else riding on it. There's something else riding on those decisions besides, it could be, a child's future. It could be them wanting to end things a certain way if they're married and they're trying to not lose everything that they own or whatever it is. There could be something else that they're trying to engineer, but they're making decent decisions, but they're not feeling very good about it right now. Um, let's see here. And we've got the Two of Cups. So above all, there's still this I say above all, and then was about to say there's an underlying bond. The underlying bond of the two of you it's constantly there. It's where this path leads. Okay, the star is headed toward union with self. Okay, and where the two of you have that much soul overlap and that much bonding, that's like that union with self. And so this Two of Cups leads you back to that. But it's like the vision that I talked about where, you come together and you have that initial bond is recognized. Okay, an initial soul recognition, and it feels so great. And then you are off to learn your lessons, but unfortunately, neither of you really has the conscious awareness of that. I mean, you can know that it's happening, but you don't have the conscious awareness to feel safe in the union at this point because you're still working through these lessons. It's constantly still there, but what I'm not feeling is, I feel them really pushing those emotions pretty far back. I'd like to see more about the emotions, and I think maybe that's where we go when we get into the extended. Let's see what else comes out, because I think that's how we start asking that question. I don't know what it evolves into. With these extendeds, sometimes I start someplace and I end up with a whole different deck of cards. So no telling, but it always goes deeper and into some interesting set of messages that maybe we didn't know we were going to get. So we're going to start it with their emotion. That much I can tell you when we get into it. I'm sure that there is a link down below this video that would take you there. But before we go there, we're going to check into what you are advised to do as a result of, basically, in context of everything else that's on this table, where should you be focusing? This is the part that's about you. I like to have a part of the reading where I focus on you, because that's the primary objective of the people in this group. It's really, this collective is about healing. So we have the Eight of Hedgehogs in the reverse. So this is about emotional self-mastery. The parts where you have a hard time pulling your emotions back in, dealing with them, feeling like you can take care of your actions or manage your actions. When that feeling happens, take note of it, start writing it down. That's something that I feel like you're going to want to be able to come back and read. You have the Knight of Flowers. There is not going to be any shortage of passion in you right now. So you're encouraged to direct that wisely. Oh, let's see. What did I just drop? Ooh, hold up. Okay, One of Flowers. Speaking of that passion. Okay, so this is where ideally you would be redirecting that passion. This is going to be that Ace of Flowers, One of Flowers. Same as the Ace of Wands. We've seen it coming out an awful lot here. Again, talking about, and I say again, if you've been watching this channel for some time, there is little chance you haven't heard about the thing that's going to set your soul on fire. So it is something that you are going to be given an opportunity for. You may not recognize it for what it is or the importance that it holds right off the bat. It may be something that you've always wanted to do, maybe something that you hadn't really considered a path to being able to do. Allow yourself to jump in. There's some really special experience for you there. But the thing is, beyond that, it also helps to balance you in the rest of this situation, because with your person, because it starts to take a little bit of your energy away from that, enough to help you reorient in a way that is incredibly healthy and helpful for you. So allow for this emotion to kind of build around this. Now, your person is supposed to be doing some version of this as well, but for the most part, they're not watching me, so I can't help to guide them there. But we've got the Queen of Wands in reverse. This is about doing things for the right reasons. This is the Ace of Swords talking about finding the truth when there's a question about there being when it seems like maybe you're not being presented with the whole truth, and it seems like it's probably more important that you learn what's happening there. Take the time to do so. You are going to have better control of the situations that you're in. That's what the Magician is telling us. So there's the Magician. It's got that feeling of manifestation, but it's more it's not manifestation of things that haven't existed before so much as working your way through managing situations that you want to manifest opportunities for yourself. You want to change the path of things a little bit, but it's manifesting in conjunction with the powers that be rather than just making stuff up and forcing your will on the environment around you. You know, you get in there and you'll find that there's a difference. I dropped some cards there, but there was nothing that wanted to be used in the reading. Let's see what else is a focus for you. I love these portions of the reading because all of a sudden stuff starts looking up. Okay, look for places, right as soon as I said that, look for places where you don't feel like you pass judgment, where you feel like there is work to be done, something that makes you feel less than happy. Look for, now you're going to be able to identify this a little bit more easily because you've been spending some more time figuring out exactly who and what you are. You've also gotten better at making decisions with less information. And this is a place where you have truly begun to excel. So you've got the Three of Cups here. There is some sort of situation coming up, and this is a social kind of situation, but it could be work. It ends up having a social element. You're going to go, it's going to be super useful. You're not going to have as much time or as much fun as you were hoping that you would have. So it's not as great from a fun perspective, and you might get home and think, man, that was just a drag. I wish I hadn't done that. It seems like a waste of my time. It wasn't a waste of your time. Do the thing, go to the the function, whatever it is. You'll know it when you see it because you will have kind of a desire not to go. Even if you're one of those people that luckily does not suffer from that, you will that day. So Three of Wands. Okay, you have the Three of Wands because whatever this is with this Three of Cups situation where you're going to go to the thing that you don't feel like going to, and you're going to do it anyway, and you're going to get benefit from that. That benefit is already in motion. Now you're going to have also a reason to go off and do some thinking, so seek some wisdom. Use your resources. When you go to seek the wisdom, use your resources. Hermit mode does not always have to be completely solitary. You have the phone a friend option. Then we've got the Four of Wands here, which is kind of talking about allowing yourself to establish new roots in certain places and to let certain things go. It's just this is a refreshing sort of energy, but it has you lightening your load and allowing yourself to grow some roots, but not like frantically growing roots. Has a very springtime, summertime sort of feel to it. But you've got the energy of finding what you're looking for. So we've got the Eight of Cups over here, which is very much searching for it. And it's not escaping my notice that she's wearing this coat and he feels like he's finding it. So it also feels like it's evolved into spring and maybe even late spring, early summer, depending on how things are in your part of the world. So with the Knight of Cups, though, this is that feeling of things bouncing back emotionally also. That's something that is really showing up for you, and I feel like it's been showing up for you. It ramps up as you start to put a little bit more of your passion toward this thing that's going to set your soul on fire. So I'm going to go ahead and head over to the extended. And like I said, we're going to start with the emotion around your person in this situation, because we're looking at, you're saying you're exhausted, and what are you supposed to do in this situation where you get so little from them? So, okay, there's a situation here, another opportunity that basically gives you energy that you get to reinvest. Over here with your person, you find, hold on, they're in a very similar energy to what you are in. So, we'll dig a little bit more deeply into that. It makes a little bit more sense after seeing some of these most recent readings, and we've watched them struggle, and you can feel the attraction and yet all the struggling, and it's like, you know what is happening in there in the emotions? And once again, it's feeling like it doesn't really want to come out. We'll have to go in directly for it. So that's what we'll do in the extended. Hope to see you there. Link is down below if you'd like to join me. Otherwise, I will see you again in tomorrow's reading.